Have you or a loved one ever tried a psychiatric medication that almost worked, but left you feeling flat, foggy, or like a zombie? In psychiatry, there's often an unspoken trade-off. The more powerful a medication is for intense mood symptoms, the more likely it is you feel numbed out, not yourself, a shell of yourself. Zyprexa, or Olanzapine, is different for most. Many patients are amazed at how effective it is for lessening mood symptoms without turning them into a complete zombie. And that's why I often reach for it in select cases. Yet its real power comes from its off-label versatility in tougher cases across many other psychiatric disorders. But it comes with its own set of side effects that need to be taken very seriously and proactively managed. I'm Dr. David Danish, a double board certified psychiatrist specializing in mood swings in children, adolescents, and adults. Zyprexa is an atypical antipsychotic mood stabilizer that balances dopamine and serotonin, key chemicals for mood, thought, and perception. Zyprexa is FDA approved for schizophrenia, but also for bipolar I disorder, specifically manic and mixed episodes, as well as maintenance, and for bipolar depression when it's used along with Prozac as well. Off-label though, many uses include severe mood instability from other disorders such as depression, ADHD, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, borderline personality disorder, substance use disorders, certain symptoms of PTSD, appetite stimulation in severe weight loss cases such as those that occur with anorexia or cancer treatment, or something called superior mesenteric artery syndrome. Zyprexa also has anti-nausea properties, so it can be used as a therapy in cases that are already failed many other options, including something like Zofran. But let's talk about side effects, starting with the one I watch for most closely. Zyprexa is the most appetite increasing medication in all of medicine. It increases appetite and in many cases may lower metabolism. So in, I would say, 80% of the cases that I use Zyprexa for, there is an increase in weight gain. That can vary from 1 or 2 pounds in a year to 10 to 15 pounds in a month. So I almost always start it with something like metformin, or even sometimes some of the semaglutide, Zepbound kind of GLP-1 agonists that we know about now. This is of course not the case if I'm using it in someone who's underweight and needs to gain weight. But with weight gain, there can be something called metabolic syndrome. Part of that is higher cholesterol, higher blood pressure, the potential for type 2 diabetes. So we have to take that very seriously. Second, let's talk about sedation and cognitive effects. Some patients experience significant drowsiness, which can actually be helpful for using it at nighttime for sleep. Interestingly, others report that Zyprexa gives them a greater sense of mental clarity compared to other medications in its class, which is one of the reasons I love it. So while sedation is possible, it doesn't always mean cognitive dulling, and that's a huge difference. Third, Zyprexa carries a lower risk of movement-related effects compared to other antipsychotics, but they still can occur. These include akathisia, which is a sense of inner restlessness, this desire to move, as well as tremors, and muscle stiffness, something called dystonic reactions. Fourth, there are other common side effects, the ones that can occur with any medication. That's dry mouth, dizziness, especially when standing up too quickly, constipation. Usually not much nausea because Zyprexa is used off-label to treat nausea. And actually, it's so powerful at treating nausea for some people, when we do stop it, we have to sometimes stop slowly because if it's stopped too abruptly, people can have rebound nausea. Now, those rare but serious risks that always deserve a mention. Zyprexa carries a black box warning for increased risk of stroke and death in geriatric patients with dementia-related psychosis or dementia-related agitation. This is a class effect seen across all atypical antipsychotics, but it's still important to highlight. There's also a small risk of seizures, especially at higher doses. So if someone has a seizure disorder, they obviously should be on an anti-seizure medication. Those who are elderly and prone to falls, because Zyprexa is mildly sedating, it can increase the risk of tripping or falling. The biggest risk of all that I worry about, not in terms of how many people get it, but the potential negative to it, is tardive dyskinesia. This is common to all atypical antipsychotics. It's extremely rare if used for a short amount of time, but in those who use it for years, that risk does build up, and tardive dyskinesia is often irreversible once it starts. That said, if you catch it early enough, that chance that it is reversible is much higher. I put a full YouTube video in the notes here so that you can watch exactly what tardive dyskinesia is and how to watch for it, as well as a free link to my Mind Vault resource on tardive dyskinesia, a checklist of symptoms to keep watch for to make sure you're not developing tardive dyskinesia if you do start Zyprexa. Now, all that scary stuff aside, I often prescribe Zyprexa when emotional dysregulation is severe and other medications either didn't work well enough or left the patients feeling numbed out or not themselves. Zyprexa offers an emotional balancing act in a way, the calming without shutting off personality. It shines in cases where patients are not eating enough, or in patients where their mood swings are just so intense they might have to go to the hospital. Also in cases where ADHD-related intermittent explosive disorder is so intense, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder in kids and teens, for instance. But the metabolic load is real, so you have to monitor labs, you have to monitor the scale, and think quickly about adding metformin or something like the GLP-1s. We also use lifestyle support like nutrition, exercise, and visits with a dietitian to help prevent this from happening. Dosing-wise, I start low and go slow, often in the evening because of sedation. And I micro-taper when it's time to come off to avoid that withdrawal nausea I sometimes see. We can think of Zyprexa as a broad-spectrum psychiatric stabilizer, a weighted blanket for your brain that can reconnect you with yourself without wiping out your emotions completely. If you found this at all helpful, please like, please subscribe, please share it with anyone else who might find it helpful, and please visit the links in the description, including the Mind Vault resource on all of the pros and cons of Zyprexa, as well as the other YouTube video on tardive dyskinesia. I really want you to know about that.